Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.
Welcome along to the Racing Post Postcast in association with Paddy Power. We are looking ahead to Saturday, day 5 of the 2017 Royal Ascot meeting. I'm Bruce Millington and I'm delighted to be joined by the Irish maestro, the legend himself, Tony O'Hare, Stuart Riley from the Racing Post and Paul Binfield from Paddy Power. So we're going to take the Saturday card in chronological order and we'll start with the 2:30. It's the Chesham Stakes and I've got an incredible stat for you after Paul Binfield has given us the latest betting from Paddy Power.
Well, we're 6 to 5 September, Bruce, 6 Massar, 10 Westerland and Nyaliti and 14 Bar.
OK, how about this for a stat? Aidan O'Brien has fielded 25 newcomers this year, 2-year-olds, and only one has won, and that is September, the favourite. So, we'll start with you, Paul. Is this the favourite to lay or to smash into?
A little bit worried about this one, Bruce. Could be very decent. Churchill won this race last year, so he likes to bring a nice 2-year-old here. It's the best of his so far this year, having won. But I'm sure the bookies are going to take him on 16 runners, 2-year-old race. 6 to 5 at the moment. Surely that we're going to have to take him on.
Just actually, before we talk about the rest of the Saturday card, how are the bookmakers doing? Obviously, we're recording this before the day 4 action. Yesterday was an absolute blinder, wasn't it? The Ladies' Day was sensational, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ladies' Day was pretty good. So the bookies are slightly ahead after day 3, but as you say, we're recording this on the Friday morning, sorry, and we've got some short-priced ones like Winter and Caravaggio today. So punters could well get it back if they come in.
Yeah. September, Tony, good thing or one to oppose?
I wouldn't be opposing her. She was very, very impressive at Leopardstown, absolutely skated in by 5.5 lengths. She's by deep impact out of Peeping Fawn, so well bred. She really did it in style now at Leopardstown, and I think they rate her very highly. I think she might follow up Churchill's win from last year.
Okie doke. Stu, what's your strategy going to be here, punting wise?
I'm definitely going to take September on. I think she was one of the few in the field to debut over 7 furlongs. A lot of these had enough speed to make their first start over 6. That was also on yielding ground. It's going to be nothing like that today. I think at the price she may just get tapped for toe by a speedier type. The two that I like are Massar, the Godolphin horse in there. I know juvenile judge David Baxter's very keen on that one. And the other one I like is the Mark Johnson horse, Nyaliti. I love the way he rallied at Salisbury when he got overtaken and he just came back, and that gutsy performance over 6 furlongs, stepping up to 7, all that guts and professionalism, yeah, I take him to be in the frame each way.
Tony, how did Stuart get into Ascot today? He hasn't had a shave and he hasn't got a tie on. Can you believe our standards have dropped at the Racing Post?
No, I can't actually, but it's very early in the morning, you know. You mightn't have gotten away with it in another couple of hours.
He convinces me he's got one in his top pocket. The 3:05 then, it's the Wolferton. 7-2 to field, Paul Binfield, and who is the market leader?
In the Wolferton, we have 7-2 Kyrat, 5 Kid Me Never, 7 Central Square, 8 Elberif, and it's 10 Bar, Bruce.
Stick with you for the tip.
Okay, I'm going to go for Central Square. This horse won on this day a year ago at Ayr, and there was some shrewdies earlier in the week at Ascot who took 14 to 1 about this, and he's halved in price at 7, and they assure me that a big run is expected of this one. Okay,
Tony, who do you think we should be backing here?
I'd go with the favourite, Kyrat, I think, for Michael Stout and Jim Crowley. That'd be the one I'd like.
Okay, dokes. And Stu, what's your view?
I think this is an interesting race because there's only one horse in this whole field who's actually won off a mark higher than they're running off today, and that's Maverick Wave. Now, he's not won for a while, but he was a Group 3 horse at his best, and he's on a lower mark than he's actually won off before. Not many of them have done this. The other one I like is Arad. It's a dual-listed winner. He does have class. So it's a weird-looking race, this. I'm not sure I think it's going to take too much winning. There's a lot of horses that are badly handicapped in there. But, yeah, they'd be my 2 against the field, and they're 33 to 1 the pair, so worth throwing a dart at.
Well played. Right, back in a minute with the Hardwicke. Okay, the 340 at Ascot on Saturday is the Hardwicke Stakes. Dartmouth attempts a repeat win. I don't think it's a very strong race. I think it's a very weird race, this, and I've actually sussed one, I think. But Paul Binfield, take us through the prices and then tell us who you think is going to win it.
Well, just quickly, Bruce, we've got a money-back special on this one. Second, third and fourth, if you get one of those, to the SP favourite, money back is a free bet, but the betting is 13 to 8 Dartmouth, 11 to 2 Wings of Desire, 6 Idaho, 10 Muntaha and 12 Across the Stars.
And don't forget that Paddy Power special available also on the Racing Post app. Who wins this then, Paul?
I'm going to go for Idaho, 6th in the Coronation Cup. I think Aidan's horses had a difficult day travelling that day. And he could just be a little bit better than that and show me on board. And I like Idaho quite a lot, Bruce.
That's right. That was the day, wasn't it, when the plane broke down and they had to basically come off the plane onto the motorway and then straight into the starting stalls. What do you think, Tony?
Well, I suppose Idaho is best known for slipping up in the St. Leger when he was favourite. But he did run in the first 3 in the Epsom Derby and again in the Irish Derby. I think he's a decent, solid horse. I think he can improve on his Coronation Cup win. 6 to 1 looks a reasonable sort of price. I'd expect him to be there or thereabouts.
Stu, what do you make of the Jolly? Bit short, surely needs some cut.
Yeah, I'm not keen on Dartmouth. I can't really have him for this. The one I really like is Wings of Desire. If he's the horse he was last year that we saw here in the King George, then he's going to take all the beating in this. He's a big price. He's been off a long time. That's the question mark. But John Gosden wouldn't be bringing him back at a meeting like this if he wasn't entirely confident with him. So, yeah, I'd side with him. I do like My Dreamboat, but I think the ground may have gone against him. You say you think you've got this race figured out. What is it?
You just stole my thunder. I mean, I know that we all think that Dartmouth needs cut, and a lot of people think My Dreamboat needs cut, but I just think the form is there, and I just think it's 14 to 1, you know? It just interests me greatly.
One thing about My Dreamboat that I did notice, when he first moved to Clive Cox, he ran on good to firm ground 3 times. Two of those times he produced what was at the time a career best. Now, obviously, he's gone on since then on soft ground, but he does have form on good to firm ground, and he has produced his best form at the time on good to firm ground. So that's another fillip.
That's the thing, isn't it? I think when they show form on a particular surface, everyone thinks that's the only one they can do it on, Paul. Where do you stand? Can you give me a little bit of hope with My Dreamboat?
Absolutely, Bruce. Clive Cox has always maintained that this is a top-class performer. I think he's got a tongue tie on for the first time, which could make some sort of difference. And yeah, 14 to 1 looks very good value. Excellent,
jolly good. I should be lumping on 4:20 then. The race of the day. It's the Diamond Jubilee, and what a race we've got in store. This really is a beauty, isn't it? And it's good to see that. I don't think the Commonwealth Cup has really taken too much gloss off this. We've got a cracking field, haven't we, Paul? How do you bet?
Cracking field, 4 places each way, Bruce. We're going 11 to 4 Limato, 6 Magical Memory, 13 to 2 Tasleet the Tin Man, 12 Labrisa Breeze, and we're 16 bar.
Stick with you for the tip, Binners?
I'm going to go Magical Memory. I thought he ran a great race in the Duke of York Stakes for Charles Hills. They fancied him in this race last year. He didn't get the best of draws. Soft ground at York. The ground should be more in his favour this time. And at 6 to 1, I think he represents solid each way value, and he may well go and win.
Blimey, you've done some writing there, haven't you? There's more Paul Binfield notes on that page than there is Racing Post ink. That's incredible. Yeah, good stuff. TOH, who's going to win the Diamond Jubilee?
I'm between the Tin Man and Limato. Tin Man has drawn 3, Limato has, I think, drawn 15. Interesting to see what effect the draw is going to have tomorrow, but I think the Tin Man might be the value in the race.
I've given up on the draw, Stu. It's here, it's middle one day, this side the next, the far side the next, isn't it? Who knows? I mean, I just think that it's basically a totally fair track, and it just depends whether jockeys decide to inject the pace, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those that can get in habits, and so they see a winner come up one rail and they all go there and they all shun another rail, and then someone goes up that and wins and they all switch. So yeah, we had day one, they all came stand side. Yesterday they were all far side. God knows what's going to happen today. Leave the draw alone.
Who's going to win then?
Oh, I'm all over Limato. I love this horse. He's finally got his ground. By some happy coincidence, was the on-course reporter for his first 3 races, all won. Just fell in love with him. He's a hell of a horse. I know the owner turned down some very big money offers for him after his debut win, and this is the horse of his lifetime. And to see him here on days like this, running in races like this, it's 3-1 favourite. Yeah, it's magic. And I'd give a shout to Sudios at a big price. His form figures in Group 1 sprints are really impressive. It's 5-2, 4-3-3 since he moved to David O'Mara at a big price. I'd give him a each-way shout, but Lamato's the one to be on for me.
A little French lesson for you there, Stu. It's Suédois. Okay, competition time. Every Monday, Maddie and the gang give you a chance to win a £25 free bet or €25 bet if you're in Ireland. You just have to answer the question, send it in with your hashtag Postcast, and you've got a chance of winning. None of us can remember what Monday's question was, but we know who the winner was. It was Joseph Brophy from Dublin. Congratulations to you, Joseph. A €25 bet will be credited to your Paddy Power account. Back in a mo. Okay, 2 to go before the curtain comes down on the 2017 Royal Ascot, and at 5 o'clock it's the Wokingham. Nice and easy this one, 38 runners, no one knows what the draw is, whether they'll split into 2, 3, 4 or 5 groups. Take it away with some betting, Paul Binfield.
Well, we wish it was 38 runners, Bruce. We've only got 28 this year, but...
how many places?
6 places. You've got to give punters a chance in this sort of race, Bruce, you know that. Anyway, we've got some betting. 7 Outback Traveller, 8 Projection Colterati, 12 Certificate, Buckstake, Normandy Barrière and 16 Bar.
Who's going to win?
Who's going to win? That's a good question, and I'm going to go for Squats. Georgia Cox taking £5 off that one for William Haggis. Well beaten in the Victoria Cup last time, but the horse has won at Ascot and often runs a good race at Ascot, so in a tricky affair, Squats.
Have you got a good record of backing winners in the Wokingham, Tony? Which year would you have watched your first Wokingham, do you think?
Don't be asking me questions like that, for heaven's sake. Watching black and white television donkeys years ago, yeah. Yes, we'll move on, yeah.
Who's going to win, Tony?
Who's going to win? Stick your pin. One Irish horse, G-Force, he was a good sprinter, Group 1 winner over here for David O'Mara a few years ago. He's had one run this year for Adrian Keatley. Wouldn't be inspiring confidence. I'm going to go with Normandy Barrière each way.
Excellent stuff. Stewie, have you got this sussed?
Yeah, I'm going to go with some latent Group 1 form as well. I do think I've got this sussed. There's a horse in here that I really, really fancy, and I think Paddy Power do too, because he's 33s, 25s with most firms, 16 to 1 with them. That's Danzino. At the back end of 2015, in the Champions Sprint here on Champions Day, he was third to Muhara and Twilight Sun with the Tin Man in fourth. That's serious form. He was rated 113 at his peak. He's down to 104 here. These sprints can be won off marks in the low 100s, and yeah, I think he definitely has the class to be winning, and it wouldn't surprise me. He's a big price.
You make a very good case. Okay, the final race of Royal Ascot 2017, 5:35. It's the Queen Alexandra Stakes. It goes on for absolutely ever. 2 miles and 5 furlongs and 143 yards, no less. And we've got a horse attempting to win a second race at this particular festival. Thomas Hobson of Willie Mullins, who absolutely bolted up on Tuesday. That was very impressive, and impressive enough, I guess, to make him a pretty solid favourite here, Binners.
Absolutely, but more extreme generosity from Paddy in this race. 4 places each way, unbelievable. But yeah, 11 to 4, Thomas Hobson.
There are 20 runners.
Yeah, but it's still extremely good value on a race like this. You're going to pick one out over this sort of distance, aren't you?
The way I've been going, mate, you could be paying 8 places and I wouldn't win. But anyway, go on. What's the latest bet?
Yeah, we're going 11 to 4, Thomas Hobson, who Willie said is a potential Melbourne Cup candidate earlier in the week. 6 QE, 7 Motherland and US Army Ranger, 8 Winning Story Oriental Fox, and then we're 10 to 1 Bar.
Stick with you. Round us off with a winner, Paul.
Well, we're going to go for Monterley for Andrew Balding, the Chester Cup winner. He didn't win by far up on the Rudy, but I don't think a £3 penalty is excessive, and he could go well.
There's some tremendous Irish angles here. We've got Thomas Hobson attempting to win for the second time this week, and US Army Ranger. Blimey, they haven't messed around with him, have they? That is a serious step up in trip, isn't it? What do you make of it all, Tony?
Well, the eyes nearly popped out of my head when I saw US Army Ranger declared. Okay, he was second in the Derby last year. He hasn't done an awful lot. Maybe they're sort of running out of options, going to try something new. Aidan O'Brien told me that they'll see you know, how far he stays. If he even there 2 miles, 2.5 miles, he might be a cup horse for next year. He might, question mark, but it looks smacks of Desperation Stakes to me. Motherland of Joseph O'Brien's not without a chance, sort of relatively lightly raced, but Thomas Hobson sort of okay, stiffer task today, different jockey, but Willie did the same double a couple of years ago with Simonon, so I'd say he's probably our best chance. Now, US Army Ranger will probably come out and win by 10 lengths and never even say, well, he was placed in a derby, but not for me. He
is one of those horses, isn't he, that you'd be kind of tempted to chuck a little 5 or a 10 at just in case, because he has got some quality, hasn't he? Stu, who's going to win this?
I think US Army Ranger's one of those horses. He's had more lives than Sepp Blatter. He's just... The thing I can't get with him is, he's kind of smacks to me, you know, when you watch cycling and they miss the breakaway, so the director sportif whacks them on the front as a punishment. Kind of looks like that, like he's being sent here as a, like, get your act together or we'll do this to you. So I can't have him. I really like QE. I fell in love with him down in Australia, his exploits down there for Charlie Appleby. In any other race, he'd be the one I side with, but Thomas Hobson was so impressive the other day and can't get away from him. Willie Mullins is an absolute genius. He can do anything. He's done the double before. It looks very hard to see past him.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, chaps. Let's get your day 5 naps. And we will start with Paul Binfield.
Magical Memory.
In the Diamond Jubilee at 4:20. Tony O'Hare.
Thomas Hobson in the Queen Alexandra to do the double for Willie Mullins.
Stuart Riley.
Dan Zeno each way.
And jolly good. And Bruce Millington. I am going to go for my dream boat in the Hardwicke. Thank you very much indeed. Maddie is back with the team on Monday to review Royal Ascot and look ahead to what it all means for the upcoming big flat races. And we'll be back next Friday with our usual weekend postcast. Do please join us for that.
Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty!